This is the EVP Podcast.
Guess what, guys? It's another episode of the EVP Podcast with your host, Ghosty.
And I'm DVO.
And I'm Beaker.
The famous Beaker.
Squatch, Mr. Squatch Beaker.
Ginger squatch to you, mister.
That's right. Well, this episode, guys, we are going to talk about a new location that I've never heard of up until recently called Los Padrinos Juvenile Hall.
Sounds not so spooky.
Right.
Until you hear its nickname,
The Devil's Den.
the Devil's Den.
Whoa.
Spooky, right? Well,
Yes.
Yeah, I chose this episode just because this is brand new. Never heard of it up
It just
until...
opened.
Yeah, it just opened. So get your tickets now. No, so Ghost Adventures just investigated it for, I think this is the first time it's ever been investigated.
I tried to look at many things. I couldn't find nothing on it besides this episode.
Well, yeah, this episode just barely aired 2 weeks ago?
Last week, yeah.
Last week. It's brand new.
Brand spanking new. And it had...
We're capitalizing on it.
Why not? Why not talk about something brand
You're
new?
hearing it first
Yeah.
here on
Right?
EVP
Yeah.
Podcast.
So, apparently this has a lot of shit going down. A lot of kids experience shit there as they serve their time.
Well, this was a relatively short-lived juvenile center too, because it was 1957?
1957 and closed just recently in 2019.
That's less than 100 years. It can't be haunted.
There's no way. Every prison we've talked about so far has been at least 150
It
years
has
old.
to be.
Everything's been
Right.
built in the 1800s. This is 1957. Was it anything before that, or was it built specifically for this? Do you know?
I have no clue.
Neither do I.
But I'm guessing because 1957 there probably wasn't much there. So I'm guessing it was a brand new building. My guess.
That's what they made it sound like.
Yeah.
Well, and this wasn't an episode of Ghost Adventures. This was its own 2-hour special spin-off.
Right. Yeah.
And they've done that before, with the Demon House,
Uh-huh.
where he actually ended up tearing it down at the end of the episode, and he still has the stairwell and some of the dirt at his museum there in Vegas.
Yes.
We've been.
I've been
Multiple
twice.
times.
Yes.
So, yeah, this seemed really interesting. And
Do you remember what this episode was called?
The Devil's Den.
It was called The Devil's Den.
The Devil's Den.
Discovery Plus and Travel Channel.
Yeah.
Are they sponsoring us yet? We need to get them to sponsor us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we're
need
trying to
our
get
own-
that Scared and Fascinated going.
Yeah. We need them to sponsor us. We can
know who
do
we
our,
need to talk
our
to
shows.
is Jack Osborne. He's the man there, it seems like. He's got shit on lock at Travel Channel.
Yeah, that's what we need to go to.
I know somebody that knows somebody that might know somebody.
Kevin Bacon
6 degrees separation.
to Jack Osborne.
Yeah.
So, for sure, we can get a hold of him.
Probably. We'll make it happen.
Sounds good.
Coming soon on Discovery Plus. Scared and Fascinated.
I like it. That's why I subscribed. So anyways, this location has a lot of shit going down. There's multiple buildings, and there were some deaths. How many deaths were there? Do you know?
So that we know of, there's been 2 teens that died there. That they were. Do you call them inmates when they're in juvie?
Inmates, yeah.
So one died in a chokehold from one of the guards. He was acting a fool and he was put in a chokehold. Another kid went into the infirmary and then just hung himself right there. Then there's 2 staff members who died. These are, I guess you can call them natural causes. One was brain aneurysm, one was a heart attack. So at least there's been 4 deaths.
Did you hear about
recorded.
the heart attack victim?
No. What do you mean?
So the ambulance came to get them.
Okay.
And the guard that was working the door or whatever was not allowing the ambulance in to save
right.
that person, the guard's life.
Told the paramedics no.
Because they didn't want to rile up the kids, right?
I don't know. So
have
they
no
let
idea.
their coworker pass away.
Yeah, they didn't want to scare the kids, something might be happening or rile them up, something like that. So they said, no, just wait till lockdown, and then
Or it was demonic presence keeping the paramedics from coming in, and they let the guard die.
Oh, good. See, this is the stories we need to
Bum,
pitch.
bum,
These are the
bum.
stories we need to pitch to the Travel Channel.
The
Discovery
brain
Plus.
aneurysm was caused by a demonic force.
Choking them from
Bum,
the
There was
inside.
a black
Bum.
mass going into their brain.
Black ass? What?
Black mass in their ass.
But also, a lot of the inmates would say that they would see shadows moving around. They would see shadows in their rooms. There was I don't know. We'll talk a little bit more detail, but there was a room where there was satanic worshiping.
There was two rooms.
Right, two rooms.
Room 20 and room 10.
And they were using their own. The inmates were
cut
using their own
themselves.
guard to smear blood and write.
So they would cut themselves and use their own blood to make pentagrams and other devil.
So we'll get into that, but these are just some of the things that kind of set up the story of why there might be some spooky things happening.
Satan himself is running this prison for children.
Because it's Devil's Den.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the moment they walk in with a past inmate named Andy, and the moment they walk in, he kind of freaks out. He's all, "This chair has my name on it," and this got this Andy's chair. It says Andy's chair on it.
Well, real quick, I mean, this he was in there 30 years ago. This guy.
He's in there a long
So
time ago.
he's a grown adult now, but he
Former
was in there.
gangbanger.
The
The two guys they brought in, both these previous inmates, they both said before they ever got there, like, they do not want to go into any of the buildings.
Yeah.
And apparently they were able to coax them in.
Well, it was funny. They're all, "Do you want to go in?" Yeah. They said they don't want to go in,
Like
but
you're-
the moment they asked them, "Do you want to go inside?"
Well, I think Andy, that actually showed them, like, I think they said it took like a half an hour to convince them to go.
Oh,
in.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, then it was
Ned, the second one was just like, "Yep, I'll do it."
yeah.
But the first guy, like, it literally shows them for like maybe, I mean, it doesn't show the full half hour, but they talk about how it took a lot of convincing to get the first guy. Andy,
Did you
to
say
go in.
where this was located?
In Downey, California.
Yeah. Not sure if you said it.
No, I did not.
Yeah. So there's a lot of gang members there. It's in the Los Angeles area.
Gang members in California? No.
In LA?
No.
Yeah.
There's no history of crime in Los Angeles ever.
So, one thing I forgot to mention too, before they walked in with that dude Andy, they saw a guy walking around inside when they were supposed to be empty.
One of their technicians, Jeff, saw someone walk into the building when there was no one there.
Yeah. So,
Let's keep talking about this and Jeff. Keep going.
yeah.
So they go in to investigate.
So they go and check it out. Nobody's in there, but they do later. That Jeff guy, the tech guy, he goes wandering around and ends up in room 20.
Yeah, they're all sitting there looking around trying to find this individual that Jeff said he saw. And then next thing they know, Jeff is gone.
Yeah. Now they're looking for Jeff. Instead.
Now they're looking for Jeff. And they start looking around and they find him in a room and they're talking to him. And then, when they were first there, the guard that was showing them around told them about the two rooms, 10 and 20, and the devil worshiping stuff. When they finally find Jeff and they get him out of the room, they realize and they start freaking out in true Ghost Adventures fashion. "Oh my God, he's in room 20. And he's like, "I don't know why. I just felt drawn here." And so they take his ass outside and Zach sits him down and talks to him and says, "You can't go in any of these buildings ever again. I don't want to see you in these buildings." And he's like, "All right, I'll stay outside." And they go back to investigating.
And they can't find him again.
Yeah, and he's missing again.
Well, I think
like,
while they're investigating is when they heard the sound that freaked them all out.
Well, so they end up hearing a toilet flush.
Yep.
So right after that, they see the chair thing. Boom, the toilet flushes by itself. It's a row of toilets, and only one of them flushes, and they get there right as it's still flushing.
Like,
So-
you can see it, like, they pan the camera quick. And there's no time for anyone to, like, duck and hide.
right? Yeah,
And
they were.
these are like the old-fashioned, like, there is no motion sensors on these.
Yeah, these are
It's, you
pull
literally have to
handle.
push
You're
the
right.
button on the wall.
Oh yeah, it was a push button.
Yeah, he watched it 3 times.
Yeah.
It's a push button. You have to push the button to get it to flush. There is no motion sensor.
Or something.
Something. Dun, dun, dun. But as while they're looking into this, then they start thinking they're hearing Jeff's voice again.
Yeah,
And they're like, "What the hell? We told him to stay outside."
Dagnammit, Jeff.
So where do you think he was again?
Room 19?
No, 20.
Oh,
Dumb
yeah.
dummy.
Dun, dun. He just kept saying he felt this weird pull to the room, like he needed to be in there for some reason.
But when they look at him, he looks confused. He looks,
he's
he looks
out of
scared.
place.
He looks mad. He looks confused. He has like a lot of emotion in his face. Like he looks like he's about to cry, but lash out at the same time.
Yeah, like he was all confused and like he was feeling other emotions or something.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know why I'm here. I don't know. I don't like it. But he's there. It was very.
The weird thing
Very
is
weird.
I don't know if it was the first time or the second time they got Jeff out of the room, but right as he walked past Zach just like, it was like a flick of a switch, and he
He gets all
like angry and gets like right into Jay's face. Mm-hmm. Whether or not that was staged, don't know, couldn't really tell, but It was literally like as Jeff was walking by, Jeff seemed to get fine, and Zach, his whole attitude and demeanor just changed like instantaneously. And that happened a lot during the show.
Yeah, it did. It sure did. Then that's when they talked to another former inmate, Ned, and he spent 5 years there. I think he said
was the second night.
Yeah,
they were there for a total of 3 nights. 2 nights they were actually locked down without anybody there.
Yeah, so they spoke with a few people prior to investigating, but while they were talking to them, they would walk through with them and stuff. And that's so. While they were talking to Ned, Ned talked a lot about like the physical and mental abuse that the guards would do to them there.
Andy got sucker punched in the chest.
Oh yeah, he talked about. Oh yeah, that's right.
He was acting a fool.
Andy talked about acting like a damn fool in his room,
banging on the door, and the guard came and was like,
punched him right square in the chest
and knocked the wind out of him. He's like, keep acting up, kid. I kind of thought that was funny.
That was funny. I forgot about that. But then, but yeah, Ned talks about the physical and mental abuse, and as he talks about it, you can tell he's got PTSD from it because he's like
hardcore.
He's crying.
He's crying, yeah.
And this, he was
and no one got him a tissue. I was like, why is nobody getting this guy a tissue?
I don't know. He's got
that
sleeves.
Doesn't make good for TV. Dude, who carries a box of tissues?
But he does talk about like seeing spirits in there and seeing
hearing
like,
voices,
hearing voices telling him that he belongs to them, that he's never going to leave.
Oh yeah.
So what I found interesting is when they first bring him into the building, he was supposed to take him upstairs to his cell,
to where he went,
to where he was actually incarcerated.
But he has to go down in a different hall.
Yeah,
and guess where
they start following him? Yeah, I don't know where.
Room 20.
Dun dun dun.
Oh shit!
He felt the same thing. He said he was drawn to that room. That he felt like he needed to be in there for some reason. He said he started getting all these like flashbacks of stuff that happened in that room.
Yeah,
but he didn't actually stay in that room. He was actually in room 13.
Right. So yeah, they go to his room and he talks about he's remembering all the voices. You can tell he's reliving all that again, and he talks about the voices telling him he's never going to leave. He belongs to them, and he would see shadows in his room at night. And he wouldn't want to sleep.
No, he didn't. He said he spent a lot of time praying in that room because he was so scared. And he said he was actually drawn to the back half of the room where the window was, and he didn't realize it when he was younger. But he thinks the reason why is the church was literally right behind that wall. It was. I mean,
that's where
you had a little courtyard, and then the church is right there.
Right. So yeah, he feels like
this is what they called it, the NSU building. This is the building where like they kind of put people that they were worried that was going to harm themselves.
The SHU.
SHU.
SHU. Yeah.
SHU. Can't remember what it stands for, but it was the building where they like the suicide.
It was the bad kids, the
specialized housing unit, something like that.
Something like that.
Special.
I watch a lot of prison shows.
You, of course. But it's where they put like the people that they were afraid like they were on suicide watch or they were just really the unruly
hurt themselves.
Ones. Yes.
Or they were hurting other inmates. They seclude them.
They're the real hard asses. And then they ended up speaking with another person who volunteered there back in the 80s. And she would talk to the female inmates as like a counselor type person. And she said there was a guard.
Some creepers.
Yeah, the pervert guard.
There was a group of girls who talked about a guard that would go watch them shower. Like, how creepy is that?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it has anything to do with... Because she thinks it has to do, maybe the spirits were possessing the guards to do bad stuff. No, it's just them being pervs.
Yeah, they're pervs.
Nope, it was ghosts. It was the demons.
They're hurting inmates. They're watching women shower. It's just...
Not just women. They're kids. They're teenage
girls.
You're
right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
he's a prevert.
Because it's a juvie.
Yeah, it's juvenile hall. So, yeah, it's gross as shit. So she talks about that, and that's really all she didn't talk about much spirit stuff happening. That's really all she mentioned. But the next day was when they were going to do the lockdown. And that morning, Zach said he woke up. He said he felt affected from speaking with Ned. That was like one of the most emotional interviews he's ever had. And when he woke up that next day, he had marks on his shoulders, like scratch marks, like handprint marks.
Yeah.
And he thinks he was affected by that place. What do you guys think?
Possible.
Think he was scratching himself in his sleep?
Or after he woke up.
Right? You think he did it to
3
himself?
scratch marks on the right shoulder, 1 on the left. It's possible. He woke up, He's like groggy, he's scratching his shoulders. You do that. You wake up, you have an itch.
And then you look in the mirror. What happened to me?
Oh,
That's also very possible.
I was touched by a demon. That should be the name of a show instead of Touched by an Angel. Touched by a demon.
All about
Travel
getting
Channel.
scratched.
Discovery Plus. You listening?
We've got the names of shows.
Yeah, you guys love the word demon there.
Scared and Fascinated, or Touched by a Demon.
Before they do the lockdown the next day, they end up reviewing the interviews and find some EVPs. And on those EVPs, you want to pull those up real quick?
I could.
And yeah, these ones were full sentences.
Yeah, these are crazy.
Well, one full sentence, the other one's just, I guess, yeah, 2 full sentences.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Let's see. What am I doing?
So I think this first one is while they were talking to Andy. I think both of them while they were talking to Andy.
Yeah, both of these were while they were talking to Andy and
Former inmate.
Yeah. Let's turn on sound. Hold on one second. So this is while they're talking to Andy. They think they hear, Billy was reviewing the audio, and they think this will play twice. So I'm gonna hit play now, and we'll just run through this real quick.
Is your volume all the way up?
I don't know. Yep.
Okay.
I'll do it one more time. Okay, that's the first one.
I hear nothing.
That one's really hard to hear, but in the show I could hear it really good.
Okay, so we played that, 3 times now? So
Yeah.
basically 6 times.
They think it says pain and misery.
Yeah. And it's one of those, for me, like when I first watched it, it's kind of what we talked about last week. I didn't hear what it said until they said what they thought it said, and then that's all I could hear.
Brainstorm.
Green needle.
Play it again. Then now you said. So what did they
Pain
say?
and misery.
Pain and misery.
I can hear it. So there's some crackles before, and then this pain.
It's really
misery.
quiet. I'd say this is probably like a possible Class C, maybe a B.
But this other one, I like this other one. This
It's
one,
like a full sentence here. And this again, it's going to play twice.
yeah, and this one, this is 2 sentences.
So here we go. Was that the right one?
No, I don't think so.
Nope, that was the right one.
Was it?
Hold on, one more time. Oh, there's no sound. That sounds like the same one.
That sounds like
That's the
pain
same
and
one.
misery. Yeah,
What am I? What
I don't know
did
what's
I
the
do
matter
the
with
same
you.
one twice?
doesn't matter. Yeah, you did.
Son of a biscuit. No, they're different.
Okay, yeah, play that one again. That one. So this one is supposed to be 2 sentences. So that one says, "I live here. I did suffer pain." I'm having a hard time hearing it now.
I
heard it
I'm
really
going to pull
good.
it up on Discovery Plus because what I did was screen recorded it.
All right, well, you do that. There was a part where Jay is in the bathrooms and he's kind of by himself, and he's recording, and he catches a shadow in a picture earlier. It looks more like misty, I guess.
Yeah. So while they're reviewing this, they also had that picture, and in that picture, they show it side by side with the same. It's on the same camera, same picture, same everything. It's just in one picture, everything's normal, and in another, by a urinal, there's like a black mass. It's a dark mass that it's not giving off a shadow or anything, but it's just weird that it's sitting there.
Yeah, but then he hears a clanging noise, like a metal pipe clanging noise, which you shouldn't hear. He gets freaked out and runs away, and he runs funny.
Yeah. So the pictures were taken the first night, right?
Yeah.
And then so he's investigating the second night, and he hears it's 2 taps.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Ding, ding, and it's the weirdest run I've ever seen. It looked like some shit out of a cartoon.
Granted,
Scooby-Doo
he has equipment, so I'll give him that. He's got some equipment.
But the way he's, "Woo, Zach!"
I swear to God, it was like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, that's exactly what I pictured.
Zoinks, like, which way did he go, man? Like, I don't... It's terrible.
So he ran towards Zach, but Zach, he was in another room recording, and he hears 2 taps on a window behind him.
This is afterwards.
Yeah.
Well, no, because he
mentioned.
mentioned that he heard the 2 taps. Zach actually sent him back to the bathroom, and that's when Zach heard the taps on the window.
Right, okay, got it.
So Zach was actually in the room with the door closed, and that's when Jay comes running down the hall, tells him what happened. Zach's like, okay, leave the door open, because I wanted to see if it happens again, and I wanted to see if I can hear it. So they leave the door open to the room, and
Jay goes back.
Sends Jay back down the hallway by himself, and that's when Zach hears 2 taps on the window behind him.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting.
And that's, I mean, to me, those taps, those are legit. Because you can see clearly, like, Jay's the only one in the bathroom.
Right.
Zach is for sure the only person in that jail cell. And, like, you just hear the 2 taps on the window. And this is like the 3rd floor. There's no way that there's someone outside tapping on this window.
Right, exactly. Or someone's, like, hiding behind the walls tapping on the pipes.
I might have.
Because it sounds like metal. All right, go ahead. You got the EVPs.
Hold on.
Yeah, that one I can hear. I can hear that one way better.
Time. Okay.
So that one I can hear. That when they said, "I live here. I did suffer pain."
I hear syllables. I cannot make out anything.
And for me, again, it's like I didn't hear what they said until they said it.
Mm-hmm.
I would have never caught that. I would have never caught that as an EVP. That's some good ears.
Yes.
So anyways, the next day they do the lockdown, and before they start the lockdown again, Zach says he saw somebody walking in there with a flashlight, and nobody's supposed to be inside. So they go in looking again and don't.
Is that Jeff again?
No, Jeff, goddammit.
Damn it, Jeff! We're totally skipping the whole part where they all got angry at each other, and Billy was gonna choke Aaron with a plastic bag, and
oh, that's later.
That was right after Jay went back to the bathroom. That's the first lockdown night.
Oh yeah, that was the end of the night.
That was the end of the first night.
Yeah, that was the end of the first lockdown. We're talking about the first night. We're talking about the beginning of the first night.
Okay.
Yeah, you're talking about the end of the first night already.
Oh, it sounded like you were skipping to the second lockdown night.
No, I was talking about the first night.
You said the second night.
He said.
You said the second lockdown night, so I'm like, hold up.
Sorry
Pump
about
the
that.
brakes.
I meant the second night that they did the lockdown.
The first lockdown night. The second night.
The second night is the night they did the lockdown. So
Okay.
on the second night, they did the lockdown.
First night was interviews.
First night was interviews.
And yelling at Jeff.
Second night was the first lockdown.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then
God damn it, Jeff.
And then the second night was the
Lockdown
first lockdown.
Yes.
And that one they did buildings C and D and the shoe building. And see, the first thing they see a guy walking in with a flashlight, so they go in looking around, can't find anybody. Jeff's where he's supposed to be. So,
So we're not yelling
Jeff
at
wasn't
Jeff.
there the second night.
yeah, good. He's where he's
So
supposed
we've already
to be.
been talking about the second night. The tapping on the window and the bars and all that. That's all the second night.
Right, yeah, I
So,
know that already
First
got
lockdown.
spoken
That's
about.
the first lockdown.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then
So that's
they
what
heard a growl. There was a growl that was heard.
this
and
was
then-
Billy and Aaron in C&D, right?
This is Jay. Jay heard a growl.
Okay.
And then Aaron and Billy are using the ITC. And then that's Aaron's getting frustrated with Billy. And because as he's trying to use it, Billy keeps saying things. He keeps talking before it can like respond. And so Aaron's like, "Shut up! It's working. You just keep talking. Just shut up." And then the ITC says, "Shut up."
Now, keep in mind, this is Aaron and Billy are in C&D
By themselves. Yeah.
by themselves, while Zach and Jay were in the
shoe
shoe building. So the tapping on the windows and that was happening simultaneously as this Aaron yelling at Billy, telling him to shut up, and then the spirit box telling Billy to shut up. And
that was funny.
Billy, like, his...
maybe we should find that.
I could probably find that.
Okay. So just make a clip and post that one. That was funny.
So,
if possible, if not.
So,
okay.
well, yeah, it's possible. Just keep talking about... So, you know, he yells at him, tells him to shut up. Billy responds with anger by dropping his camera and balling his hand up into a fist.
No, you shut up.
I'm going to fight you, bitch.
Yeah, but then they have like a really calm conversation. Like, I'm sorry, bro. Like, I just got so mad at you. Me too. I was so mad, and I don't know why.
It's this place, bro.
Or maybe we've been on the road together too long. I don't know. Now we got some pent up aggression we want to yell at each other about. We want to duke it out. So Aaron and Billy have that little spat, and they kind of talk about it.
While they're doing that, Jay finds Zach, and Zach's kind of sitting on the ground, being all weird, and then he starts acting like he's like possessed or something, and he gets in Jay's face.
He's like really weak. Yeah, he's like, I can't.
But then he starts getting in Jay's face.
I don't know.
I can't move.
I can't move.
Yeah.
Something won't let me move, man. So you kind of see them have that interaction, but then Billy and Aaron go back to headquarters.
Yeah, and they see the moment when Zach's all in Jay's face.
Yeah, so it looks like he's about to beat him.
Yeah.
But he's not.
Yeah.
He's just like...
He's just standing in his face. He's like, it's me, your friend, Jay. I know. I can't move. They won't let me.
Yeah, so he's kind of just leaning on Jay, really. He's not... It does look like he's like in his face about to yell at him because we've seen Zach do that. But really, he's kind of leaning on him, leaning on the wall, leaning on Jay, like, man, Jay.
And then
comedy ensues.
The comedy ensues. But then they all regroup, and then they decide to. I think Zach has the idea. Let's all go to room 20. Let's all go to room 20 and make out.
He just kept saying 20, 20, 20. Oh, I think I found it.
20 minutes in paradise, everybody.
This is what Billy and Aaron over the ITC.
I lost it. Hold on.
Oh.
So yeah, he's like 20, 20. We all got to go to 20. And when they first like came in, like they opened the door to the hallway and they were like, Billy just like freezes on the stairs like he's afraid of something. And Aaron's like, hey, you guys okay? And he's like, don't come up here or some shit like that.
We're making out.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, don't come up here.
Well, I don't know what Aaron's talking about. Aaron's just talking. And then Billy's got this plastic bag. He's like, I'm gonna choke this guy out.
Yeah, there just happens to be a plastic bag with like pillows and stuff in it. And he's like unwinding it and like tying it up into a knot.
Twisting it all up.
He's like, I'm gonna strangle Aaron right now.
They are nearly physically fighting with each other. Because of this, they immediately leave the
Okay,
building,
hold on.
and as they
I'm almost there.
themselves up to these spirits through the ITC device. They are nearly physically
Put it right in front of the
fighting
mic.
with
No,
each
because it's not there. Don't tell me what to do.
You're holding it up to the mic.
Well, I'm trying to make sure I'm in the right place,
Okay.
man.
So yeah, Billy's thinking about choking out Aaron. I don't know what Aaron's saying does make him so angry, but
Well, Zach and Aaron are arguing.
They're arguing
about
like,
something.
Oh, that's
why don't
right.
you have more equipment? He's like, I don't have the obelisk.
oh,
or
poor
anything like that."
excuse.
Oh yeah,
They're fighting over stupid shit. Like,
looks
you need
staged.
more equipment. You need more equipment. I don't have equipment.
No, that's you go get some then.
And Billy's like, I'm gonna choke this bitch out because he doesn't have equipment.
He's just
Jay's like,
he's
I
just
don't know
quiet.
what's going on.
Billy's just quiet, just twisting this bag up into a rope.
The best part of the night though is like afterwards, all of a sudden they all just kind of go their own way, and then they talk about how they're all so angry at each other and they're like in fight or flight mode and they want to fight each other. And I swear to God, the funniest thing ever you'll ever see in any of these ghost hunting shows is out of the corner of the camera, you slowly start seeing this chair appear in the view of the camera.
Oh yes.
So Zach is like walking down the hall with a fucking
chair.
plastic chair. Like he's going to fight somebody with
It
it.
reminded me of Who's Hunting Bugs Bunny? Elmer Fudd. He's like, you just see him walk into frame with a shotgun, right, looking for Bugs Bunny. And that's Zach. He just walks slowly into frame with a chair to like protect himself or whatever. Or how about when he just lunges out, he just starts running down the hall.
Oh
And
yeah.
he scares one of the tech people as well. She almost has a heart attack. She's like, oh my gosh. He just started running and scared me. It was kind of funny.
Oh my god.
Well, I mean, talking about, I know we're kind of making fun of these guys acting like this. What do you think? Do you think it's an act for the show, or do you think something's like really affecting them where they're getting angry, and just every little thing is being said? They're just like, oh my gosh.
I think they overact things more than what is happening.
So when you say overact, are you saying that you think they are being affected, but they're just kind of playing it a little bit extra for the camera?
Well, yeah, I think they might have like pick up on some feelings or some energy in the room, and they are like kind of playing it out, like overdoing it big time.
Okay.
Because nobody does that on investigations.
Okay, I think I found it. Here we go. This only took me an hour.
Comes through and repeats him.
You just won't shut up. It just told you to shut up. Did you hear that? It just shut up.
My volume was not all the way up.
But it's funny because you can hear Aaron, like he's like, dude, it's talking, just shut up. And then it also says shut up. And he goes like, see, you just better shut. Like he's like seems so validated. Like, yeah, just shut the hell up, man.
Now that I
it's telling
realize
you.
my volume was all the way down, let's I'm going to go back to those other two if that's all right.
EVPs,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Remember when I asked if your volume was all the way up?
Yeah, it wasn't. You're smart, I'm not. Okay, here we go. See, now that's really loud.
So that one says peas and gravy.
Peas and gravy, okay. And then here's the other
But
one.
what was that one though?
That was the pain and suffering.
I hear nothing.
And then the other one. This is the other one. That was the I did live here, I did suffer pain.
The thing is, I definitely hear voices. I hear the syllables. I hear it's the one voice talking. I can hear all that. The problem for me is I just can't make it out.
Yeah, it's,
Which is because they're amplifying white noise of a spirit, of a talking spirit.
Yeah.
so on the
What would you do if you saw Zach coming at you with a plastic chair?
I'm like, oh, I'd love a seat. Thank you. Put it down right here, please.
I'd be like, Zach, finally, you come to get on the show with us. You brought your own chair. Perfect.
So that's pretty much the end of the first lockdown night.
Yeah, so the second lockdown night, they did the J building, the administration building, and the infirmary. And this one, they had these 360 motion cameras set up, and they start going off, like right off the bat.
So to start off with, they send Jay into the J building by himself.
Yep.
And the weird thing
As
about
it should, Jay goes to the J building.
The weird thing about the J building is it's the only building that has its own wall around it.
What do you mean with its own wall around it?
There's 4 walls around the J building.
Oh.
It's separate from the rest of the prison.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
So everything's shares like the same common area. The J building is literally walled up by itself. It's the only thing inside
So
those walls.
separated.
Yep.
Separated. Okay.
So the only building with walls around it, like a wall around the building. Jay goes in it by himself, while the other 3 go to the infirmary and the. I don't think they actually went in the administrative office. I think they all just went straight to the infirmary.
Yeah, I don't remember much of anything.
Or maybe they just cut it out because nothing happened.
Probably. So Zach's trying to communicate with something. So the 360 cameras something is motioning them off, and there was a time where Zach is trying to communicate. He's talking to something down the hall, and then it goes off down the hall again.
Well, the way it seems like this camera works
It
is
follows.
it's like when you say 360, if it senses motion, it's supposed to turn and follow that motion. And before they even got in there, when they were still out at base camp getting their gear and everything ready, Zach's little wristwatch kept going off saying that one of the motion sensors was detecting motion, and the camera, like you hear something tap on the camera, and then the camera starts moving.
Yeah, you hear a tap tap. The same taps you heard on the window.
It was one tap, but you hear this tap and then it starts moving.
Oh, it was one?
It was just one tap.
Damn it. I
I
was
know.
hoping for some synchronicities.
There was 2
going
taps.
on.
There was 2 taps. The same 2 taps in the other buildings.
Yes, everything was 2 tapped.
Yes, 2 taps, not 3.
Oh,
if it was
so-
a demon, it would be 3.
Then they do this other thing where they had this lit up ball, and it lights up, and they Aaron rolled it down the hallway.
It seems like it lights up while it's
Motion
rolling. Yeah, so
activated.
once it stops, it doesn't.
Well, it's
Yeah.
one of
Light
those. I think if you hit it, it will just light up for a certain amount of time, then it will stop.
Yeah.
And this was where the motion sensor that was going off on the wristwatch when they were outside. This is where they're at. Is where that
Yeah.
motion sensor was set up.
So down that hallway, he has that ball. He kind of shakes it up.
Somewhat long hallway.
Yeah. And he rolls it down the middle of the hall, and you see the ball because it's all lit up on the camera, and it goes straight down the hallway until
Did they say how
it's-
long it went roughly?
Not really, but it's a long ass hallway, and you see it go down the middle of the hallway, and then the lights stop,
Right.
and it stops right in the middle, right where you see it go, and then they go to retrieve it, and the ball's not there, and they're like, "What the hell? It disappeared." So they look for it, and it's in the room next to them, and it did like a 90-degree turn into that room, and it's like right in the middle of the floor.
Yeah.
And so they're just like, "What the shit? Okay, that's weird. How the hell does this happen?" Because you've seen it roll straight down, it stops, the light stop, but you see where it stops right in the middle of the hallway. But then they go to get it, and it's 90 degrees to either side, right or left, but in a room.
It seemed like it stopped naturally, right? Like just the
Yeah.
momentum slowed down.
Yeah,
and
just like it
and
slowed
stopped.
down and came to a stop right in the middle of the hall.
Well, and they're saying that it vanished, but to me it looked like it just because I've seen those balls before. It's you hit it and then it blinks for X amount of time.
If you go to arcade and you have enough tickets, you can get one of these balls.
Yeah. So it blinks for a certain amount of time and then it stops blinking unless you hit it again. And to me, that's what it looked like happened. Is it just stopped blinking because it reached the time limit, and
Yeah.
they're like it disappeared. It vanished.
They said it disappeared because they went to get it and it wasn't in the middle of the hall. Not that the lights stopped.
I don't think they meant it literally vanished
Right.
in thin air.
When they're first showing it on the episode, when the light stopped, they're like, you see the ball vanish before they went looking for it. And then they go down to look for it. That's when Aaron starts freaking out. He's like, the ball is gone. So it's like the after, the narration that they do afterwards. Like you can see the ball vanish. It didn't. To me, it looked like
It
it just
just looks
stopped.
like the light stopped. Yeah.
Who's to say Aaron didn't go down there and just like gently nudge it into the other room?
No,
He didn't. You can clearly see he
you can
didn't.
see it. You can see it, everything, and then
No,
they
this
try to
one-
reenact it. They try to redo it.
They
which
had
I
a
like.
second ball, actually. They rolled the second ball down, and you see it just go straight past the room. So who's to say he rolled it the same strength? I don't know. But I'm
For it
not
to
denying the
turn.
fact that this literally just should have still been in the hallway.
Yeah.
Like you would have seen this. I mean, if the
Science,
light was
man.
still going, you would have seen it turn and go down the room. But the light did stop. But there's no way this should have gone, like you said, 90 degrees into
A room. Yeah.
Like there was no curve on it. Like it was. It's not a bowling ball.
Right. If it was
didn't
curving
put
to
any
a
spin on
side,
it.
and then if you were to see the light kind of curve to one side and lean to one side of the wall, and it was in a room there, that would totally make sense. But it went straight down the middle. So that
Well,
part,
it's like a bowling ball. When you throw it off to the side on the gutter and you've got that spin on it, you'll see that spin start happening towards the end. This was still just going straight.
Exactly.
So I honestly can't explain this one. I have no idea how the hell it ended up.
yeah,
in
that
the
was
room.
that was really cool. I like how that
It was.
Yeah. And then they ended up the motion cameras kept going off. Then they ended up seeing a blue mist down one of the halls as well. If you remember that. And when they see that blue mist, that's when Aaron starts saying he starts feeling all weird, and he says he can taste like menthol, and then
Yeah.
he like freaked out because he said he felt like somebody ran up on him.
Yeah.
Well, before he started saying the menthol, he said it felt like something went through him and around the corner.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
And then he felt started saying he tasted the menthol, and then he felt like it was someone up right behind him.
Yes. Yeah, he felt like somebody walked up behind him, and then he talks about the menthol. I don't know what that has to do with anything though, because
Cigarettes.
well, yeah, but what that had to do with there's no stories that go along with menthols or anything like that.
No, it's just not a flavor that you're just gonna
Right.
just have in your mouth all the
Yeah,
time.
it's just
Unless you're
strange that
chain
was cool
smoking.
that he was just experiencing that.
Well, I mean, cough drops have like a menthol
This is true.
taste too as well.
Maybe he had a little bit of a sniffles. He was eating some halls.
And then Jay, being in the J building, he was playing with the Ovulus, and they captured a light anomaly, but he was also getting some intelligent responses on that. Do you remember what he was getting?
Yeah, the ones that I like, some of them I can tell, but the ones he asked, was it scary? And here was a response of yes. And then he asked, what happened to you? And then what came through was beat, like as in I was beat.
And then it
Not
asked
not
for
the not the red root that grows out of the ground.
then it asked for a hug.
Oh yeah, and then it said hug.
Oh yeah.
And then right after that, there was like a loud noise.
But I
that
just said it by
happened.
itself, right? I just said hug.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no
I just
word.
said hug.
But then it sounded like something loud fell or something loud slapped something. But there was like a really loud noise.
And they don't know where it came from.
Yeah,
or
they
what it
checked
was.
all the cameras.
Jay had 3 separate cameras set up in that building, and they couldn't pinpoint where the noise came from. Keep in mind, he's supposed to be in this building by himself.
Right.
The other 3 are across the damn
Right.
In the main
grounds
building.
in the infirmary.
So yeah, when this noise happened, yeah, it makes
Now,
no
was it
sense.
this night or was it the first night where Jay felt like, because he had the harness on, or not Jay, Aaron, they had the harness on, and he said it felt like someone grabbed the harness and started pulling up on it.
Oh, I think it was this night. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was when he was saying he tasted the menthol, and like he said, someone came up
Yeah.
behind him. He said it felt like someone grabbed his harness and started pulling up on it.
Yeah. Yeah, there was something. I want to say it was that night. Yeah.
Those jokesters. Ghost.
We're gonna go with that. It was that night.
I like that. Yeah, we'll go in with that. And then what else happened? Oh, Zach was mapping bodies on the SLS camera.
And it looked like it was laying on the floor next to the toilet.
Yeah, that's
And
what he said it was.
They were in the room where the inmate hung themselves.
Yes. But when they were using it was kind of like a spirit box, but they had the APF processor on it, which kind of makes it eliminates the white noise so much that all you hear really are the voices that come through. And what they got a woman's voice coming through, and on that one, they asked, I can't remember what they asked, but they heard the woman say, "I'm afraid," and then. I think that was really it. I think that was it on that. And then that's when the crazy thing happens with the radio.
Yeah, they go outside and Zach is explaining how he's emotional. Like at one point he laid down on a bench and he just said like everything hurt. Like he wasn't feeling that anxiety or that anger that he was feeling the first lockdown night, where they all started trying to kill each other with chairs. He said he just felt like tired. He didn't feel himself. And he's sitting there talking, explaining to this. And Billy just goes, he's like, "Hey, just grab the radio. We need the radio. Jay's going to call us." And Zach seems like
He gets so pissed.
He seemed
He gets so
he
pissed.
legitimately seemed upset.
What are you talking about?
He's like, "Oh, sure." Zach's
Okay,
out
stop
here.
everything because Billy has a
Like,
thought.
Zach is trying to explain what's going on. We need to stop because Billy thinks he's psychic all of a sudden. And then, like, he even picked up the radio and threw it across the table. And then, as like Zach is freaking out on Billy, you hear Jay on the radio go, "Zach, Aaron, Billy, guys, I need help."
Yeah.
And then they go find him.
Well, they freak out first because like, oh shit.
They're,
And
"Oh, how
Billy's
did
all,
you know? How
Shut up
did
and
you know?"
answer the damn radio, Zach.
They go
Billy
find
throws
him.
his hands up like, "I told you, bitches."
Yeah,
Yeah.
So, I told you
What-
this shit happens, okay?
That one was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, if that one wasn't staged, that was cool.
It was a little over exaggerated. It was a little over exaggerated, so it's hard to say. But if it was real, it was pretty cool.
Right.
They go find Jay, and he's like,
He's having a little tantrum in the floor.
he's taking the bed off of like the mattress off of one
mattress.
of the beds, throwing it on the floor, and he's like laying near the mattress.
He's like
Standing
kicking the bed.
kicking it, laying on the floor.
Before
fetal
that,
position.
they went and reviewed the camera, and I guess he like climbed up on the bed and started pounding on the ceiling, and then that's when he kicked the mattress off, and then went and laid down next to it, and then called for help.
Yeah.
And then when they brought him outside, he was dazed and confused the rest of the night.
Yeah.
This place is evil.
And then
What do you think, real quick? Do you think something again is in there affecting him? Do you think just being in a dark room and you kind of lose your equilibrium of like where you're at? Do you think that plays a factor into it? Like, what do you guys think about that?
I think you're right. I think that played a huge factor because we've talked about in other episodes where people have literally gone insane from being in the dark, not being able to see or hear things. So he's in this building all by himself. There's
Right.
nobody else there.
Pitch black.
Pitch black, no lights on, nothing. Maybe he did go a little bit crazy. Maybe he was being influenced.
I mean, he's only in there for like 10 minutes. I mean,
it was probably like all night.
Yeah, it's probably a few hours.
but I mean, still, if you spent maybe 5 days in there, yeah.
But still, like, okay, so
But
next
this is the first
time
day.
you're on an investigation, I'm going to stick you in a dark room by yourself. Like, they even do this at Asylum 49, right? Or they used to. They had one room where they stuck you in. It was a small room where they'd grab you from your group and they'd put you in this small dark room by yourself. No lights, no sound, nothing. Like, I don't know how long it actually takes before you start feeling uneasy or nervous before. I'm like, yeah, I mean, you're not going to go completely insane in just a matter of hours, but it is possible that, I don't know, maybe his mind was starting to play tricks on him. Maybe he's being influenced. I don't know.
He could be getting influenced. But, I don't know. I do think they do a lot of acting.
I do think they do a lot of acting. Because it makes the show entertaining.
The last thing that they end up getting was on the FLIR camera. They do see like a head and shoulder, like an upper torso, and it gives off a cold signature. And it was really zoomed in on and everything, but they were able to see something that was not supposed to be there. But yeah, that was on the FLIR camera. That was the last thing, really.
Yeah, it was.
But they got a lot of stuff for the first time this place being investigated.
Yeah, and just as a reminder, every episode we try to do like research, right? We try to look up different websites or YouTube videos or just anything we can find out about a location. This was its own little spin-off series that the Ghost Adventures did. So there's not much to research at all. So this whole episode that we're doing right now is based off of their investigation, kind of what we think about it. So if it sounds like, well, you're just reviewing Ghost Adventures, yeah, kind of, because that's the only place that we have to. But it's very interesting that they did a 2-hour special on just this location, and it's the first one that we can find that's ever been investigated. It's only been shut down for 3 years.
I mean, I found news articles explaining why it shut down with all the violence and everything that was going on there. But as far as like a real history on this building, I couldn't find anything.
I was able to find one YouTube video where a former inmate was talking about how Los Padrinos changed his life for the better, because he was locked down. You know, he was getting in trouble. He was locked down in there. He went there and it kind of reformed him, which is the purpose of these things, right? It's to reform people. Like, hey, you don't want to hang out here. Like, Jay's a good example of why you don't want to be locked up in SHU. You're gonna go crazy in just a couple hours. Imagine being there for 5 days. You don't want to go there. So, anyway, I found this video and this kid was like, yeah, it changed my life for the better. Now I want to be like a motivational speaker and talk to kids and things like that. So that's just one example of an interview I found, but that was the only one that I could find.
Yeah, I didn't find anything else either. So, but yeah, that was our thoughts on Los Padrinos. I think there's spirits in there for sure.
Oh yeah, now that it's been abandoned for 3 years, it's more likely that it's abandoned, it's quiet, there's no wrestling or rustling around in there. It's more likely that more spirits that will just kind of wander in. They're like, oh, this is kind of quiet and good place for me to hang out in.
So there's probably some already there.
So some transient spirits walk in.
Yeah, I mean, the place doesn't have to be abandoned for it to be haunted.
Yeah.
I think it's just more likely, as I'm saying, because it's just quiet. It's just a place for them to just go like, hey, I'm just hanging out here. I don't know where I'm going. It's just a nice, quiet place for me to hang out at. And there's other spirits around here. But going back to room 20 and like the devil worshipping and the, spilling of the blood and pentagrams, that definitely has to open up something in there too, at some point. I mean, you hear the kids talking about how they see shadows moving around, and they would hear, like Ned said, they were in my room. These spirits or these shadows were in my room talking to me.
Yeah, and the guard said that he would see, or that
Didn't
other inmates would talk about spirits all the time.
Yeah.
Well, and they thought they saw like one of the other guards walking around, even though he wasn't like even working that day.
Yeah, they thought they would see other people like what Zach saw. He saw 2 times where he saw somebody walking around. And then what else? I can't remember what else was there.
Yeah, definitely some spirits there. It's definitely haunted. I mean, they don't do any investigations there. It's just
I wonder if they will now. I wonder if it's gonna bring in some revenue for whoever owns the property.
Well, I thought I saw some article where they were trying to like reopen it for something else, but
haunted house.
Yeah,
no, like it's kind of similar, but not a prison, just like somewhere for kids. I don't know. It's on their website.
Okay.
I didn't really read too much into it because I was looking for haunted, like scary stories about it, not what they wanted to become. So I was like, oh, I don't want this. I closed the website. But yeah, the prison's definitely haunted. Like, I've investigated a prison, actually 2 prisons, and the energy is so dark, so negative in prisons. Like, there's no doubt in my mind this place is haunted. To the extent they said, I don't know. I would love to check it out myself. I don't know if we'll ever be able to, but yeah, definitely haunted.
For sure.
All right. Well, hey, just real quick, you guys can follow us on evp.pod on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. We're there. You can find us there. And if you guys are enjoying the podcast, you enjoy our research that we do, the best thing you can do is subscribe to it, follow us, tell your friends and family about it.
And if you're looking for gear to investigate, if you want to start investigating yourself, on our social medias, there is a link for our affiliate to GoStop.com. That's where we buy all of our equipment. Go check it out.
Yeah, thanks to our sponsor, GoStop.
All right, everybody. Go so you don't play that.
Peace out, butterflies.
Welcome to Los Padrinos. Lockdown, witches.
This is the EVP Podcast.